What is going on, guys? Noah Brewer here, back again with another video. Yes, I'm filming these all on the same day. This is the only day I have free during the week, but super excited for this one. I want to say that this has been an ongoing issue for the past like 4 or 5 months, where you test a product, it does really well in the first 2 or 3 days, and then after that it kind of dies out and there's not much that you can do about it. It just happens, and I would say probably 2 to 3 days, 4 to 5 days, 5 to 6 days, around that time, you'll start losing a lot of traction on the campaign. Now, obviously, this is not the product dying out, unless it was never a winner from the start and you just got a few lucky sales, which is definitely possible, but not very likely if you've made more than 4 sales, right? Because if a product makes more than 4 sales, I believe at least, it has potential. It might not make enough sales to actually be a winner and be profitable and whatnot, but it does have potential. So what do you do in these situations where you test a product, it does good for 4 or 5 days, and then it just seems to die off? For one, you have to determine, is it the product or is it the campaign or the ads or whatever. So the way that I determine this is basically by looking at the cost per purchase and your margin. If it's breaking even or profitable or close to breaking even, it's probably the campaign that's dying out and just losing that little bit of traction that it had, which is kind of normal. It's kind of a good sign, right? If it's losing a lot of money, like if it's losing $100, $150 in the first 3 or 4 days, it's most likely the product and it's just not selling good enough to, you know, actually be profitable and go off and become a big winner. Once you have that determined, obviously if you think it's the product, just scrap it. If you think it's the campaign, there's a few different things that I do. And by the way, I want to say this, I'm just going to be talking to the camera. I'm not going to be showing my screen or doing anything like that. So if you want to keep these, you know, in notes or whatever, I would recommend taking notes, just so you can go back later and you have some ideas as to what you could do. Right now, we're assuming we just tested a product, it's been 4 or 5 days, it did good, but then it died out. We're gonna say that it's the campaign that made it die out, whether it was ad fatigue, whether you know, something went wrong, a bad comment, there's a million things that could have caused it. What you should do is break down the campaign by day and see how it's spending. It's not gonna tell you all the information that you need to do. Most of the time I don't even do this, but it could give you a really good idea. Maybe you're getting a shitload more clicks, maybe you're getting a lot less clicks. This doesn't matter except for where the clicks are coming from. I've seen a few times basically Facebook starts spending a lot of money in not the best countries, like countries that will get you a lot of add to carts, a lot of clicks, you know, cheap clicks, where you spend like 50 cents and you'll get like 300 clicks. So that could mess with the optimization with your ads. Like if there was a day where Facebook was testing these lower end countries and it got a bunch of traffic and it thought that maybe somebody might buy there, so it spent a little bit more, it could throw off the ads. So just take a look at your ads, try to figure out what was the day that stuff started going wrong and try to figure out what caused it. This is going to help you the most, rather than just saying like, okay, test these 3 random things and hopefully one of them works. You may be able to just pinpoint what exactly caused it. Was it Facebook spending too much in this country? Was it Facebook spending all the money on females? Like I'm saying, this is not gonna make or break the deal, right? Like you're not gonna know based on this one thing, but it is a good indicator and could give you some information as to how your ads are optimizing, you know, from this point forward, so you can take action and stop the ads from doing that. You actually might wanna ditch the entire pixel in itself. You might want to switch ad accounts, you know, but we'll get into that. So basically the first thing that I like to do is after I test a product, I'll give it 4 or 5 days. If it does well, first thing I'll do is eat one of 2 things depending on the situation. Everything is very situational here, so you kind of have to feel it out. I'll either do one, relaunch the campaign, which I probably leave the one that's running now on, and I'll relaunch the campaign using the same post, same ad set setup, and just try a bunch of new interests, like 10, 15, or 20, depending on how good it did. If it did okay, I might only try 10 new interests. If it did really good, I might just go all out and do 20. Really depends on the situation. So this is one angle that you can take, and really the purpose of doing this is so that it's kind of like a respark. Like it's kind of restarting those first 2 to 3 days that were really good and hoping that it resparks the other campaign and kind of keeps things going, right? Like when I'm scaling now, I really like to create new campaigns, one every 3, one every 4 days, just to keep the momentum going, because I feel like Facebook kind of needs the you know, think of it like flicking a match or something. It needs that spark. So that's one thing that you could do. The other route that you can take, which I probably take more than just creating a bunch of new interests, is testing new creatives. Now, this could be new ad copy, new video, new images, carousels, you know, just a different angle, different images, different videos. Now the reason that I like doing this is to kind of validate that it's a winner, and also give Facebook the chance to, you know, kind of see how it'll optimize using different images, different videos, different creatives, whatever. So doing this really works. If you're 4 to 5 days in and you relaunch a new campaign, I kind of call them re-spark campaigns, which kind of re-sparks the ad account in a way. You can either make new creatives or you can make new interests with the same creatives. I don't really recommend doing both, where you're doing new interests with a new creative, because then if it works, you don't really know if it was the new interest that made it work or if it was the new ads. I mean, it could have been them both together, and you can also test that. But these are the steps that I take to kind of stop it from dying out after 4 or 5 days. And this is really new. Like, I don't talk about this on my other videos, so if you only watch my YouTube channel, I'm sorry that I'm dumping this all on you now, but I haven't talked about my methods in a very long time on my YouTube channel. And stuff changes, and that's why I'm coming out and making these videos, because I want to put out updated content and you know, get new people to follow my strategies and stuff. But yeah, basically, you have a new product, right? We're talking about new products. 4 or 5 days in, kind of dies out, stops making sales, whatever. Either make new interests or create a new campaign with the same interests with new creatives or new page posts. So that's what you can do if your product is dying out in the beginning, right? Like in the first week or two, I would say that you can still, you know, do those re-spark campaigns and try to get it going again. Now, if you've had a product running for a while, like let's say it's been on for a month or 2 or 2 months, and it starts to die out, results kind of trickle, this is where shit kind of gets fun and also messy at the same time, because there's a lot of things that you can do because you've already made money with the product, I would hope, if you've been scaling it for that long, right? So you have this sum of money that you can reinvest and try to make it to pop off again. So you can do the same exact thing that I just talked about. If you haven't done lookalikes yet, try lookalikes. If you haven't done certain interests that you know that you've wanted to try for a while, try those interests in a new campaign. If you haven't tested new creatives, try new creatives. If you have tested new creatives, try new creatives. Maybe try different text, different offer, different video. Another thing that you can try is create a new ad account with the same pixel. Just transfer the pixel into the new ad account and try relaunching stuff in a new ad account using the same pixel. This has worked numerous times as well. Another thing that you can do is make an exact replica of the store itself, right? Like the Shopify store or WooCommerce or whatever you're using. Make an exact replica of it. Put a new pixel on the replica in a new ad account, right? Like new pixel, new ad account, new store, but it's the same store, just replicated. And try to relaunch like you never even did the product before. That has also worked. So you basically have to decide, like if you already have a winner and it's starting to die out, how far are you willing to dig yourself? Like how far are you willing to go down the rabbit hole of trying to make a product work? You already have the data, you already made money with it. Usually my opinion is that if it's dying out, you should spend like $500 to $600 trying to get it to pop off again. And usually I'll spend like 50 to 60 bucks per campaign. Maybe like 50 to 70 to 80, depending. Like if you're doing $5 budgets, that's all you really need. If you're doing $10 budgets, you probably spend like 80 or 90. If you're doing 20 budgets, probably spend 100 to 120. Regardless though, just know your numbers. I'm not trying to be too broad here, but everything nowadays is super situational, and it's really difficult to give one blanket statement for everybody because it's all different, right? You just have to try and figure out what's the best next thing for you to do. So you might want to test new creatives. You can test new budgets. That's another thing that I didn't mention, is if you've always been doing $5 budgets, maybe you can try doing $10 budgets, or you could try doing 15 or 20 or 50. So you can try that as well, because ads perform differently at different budgets. I should actually make a video on this where I talk about why scaling budgets is not scaling and it's actually testing, which is really interesting. But people act like increasing budgets is scaling, right, when it's actually not. It's total bullshit. But test budgets, test creatives, test lookalikes, test new types of lookalikes, test a new ad account, test new pixel, new store entirely. Like there's a lot of things that you can do, and if you're spending $100 per things that you test, just choose 5 or 6 of them and test them out and see if you can get something to pop off again. This is really what I wanted this video to be about, was like how can you stop a product from dying out, which it's inevitable. But you know, there's also the question of like, is the product really dying out, or is the campaigns just losing optimization which, you know, you should be able to determine in your head. It's pretty common sense stuff. But that was the video. I'm super excited to put this out. I hope you guys got value out of it and you can use this stuff moving forward when you're testing, or in order to revive products when you scale and they start to lose traction or they start to die out. So make sure you leave a like and leave a comment. I'll try to get back to every comment, but I've been really busy lately, especially with buying this house or this rental property. But yeah, I hope you liked the video. This is Brewer and I'm out. Peace.